Hi everybody, Stephanie with SimplyFun here with our September specials. In Uncle Beary's bedtime, we are trying to help Uncle Beary here try to get all these little bears into bed. So each player has their own little bed card and 3 bears to start out with. On your turn, you're going to roll the dice and you're going to find the number that you rolled. So if I roll the 5 here, I'm going to try to find the number 5 card and see if that card is full. You can easily see if it's full because there are the same number of toys on there as there are bears. So if all the bears are there, I will collect them and put them into bed, okay? We would pass on the dice to the next player and everybody would keep collecting bears until somebody rolls a card where it's not full. When that happens, one of the little bears hops out of bed to go play with those toys. Now, this card is going to have to keep being refilled every time somebody rolls number 5 until it's completely full. Then you'd be able to collect them all, okay? So there's also Uncle Beary on this dice. When he gets rolled, he's going to move to the next room to try to clear out the bears, right? And the player that rolled it, they receive a bear from all the other players. They're all, one bear from each player is going to come hop into this bed, okay? So we have to work on our sharing as well. Now, as soon as Uncle Beary gets all the way through the house, the game ends. And whoever has the most bears in their bed wins the game. In Clover Leap, we are trying to build silly sentences. Each player gets a set of sheep, and then on their turn, they get to roll both of these dice. If you roll a sheep, that means you get to move one of your sheep 1 space horizontally or vertically. If you roll the sheepdog, you then get to move this little sheepdog anywhere on the game board that is already open. And he is going to chase away any sheep that are nearby. If you roll a clover, you then are allowed to pick up one of the clover tiles that is under one of your sheep. So you can see that these are actually color-coded. White means you're picking up a subject. Blue flowers mean you're going to be picking up a verb. Yellow is an adjective. And red is your object, okay? So you can kind of try to strategize where you're going to build a full sentence. Then if you roll a sun, this little guy is going to move 1 space around the game board. Once he makes a full revolution, the game is over and whoever has the most silly sentences wins. In ARTributes, we are working on our vocabulary and a little bit of drawing skills. On your turn, you're going to draw 3 cards. And you're going to choose 2 of them that you can think of something that they would describe, okay? So I'm going to eliminate this one, and I'm going to use the descriptors animal and clever. And so those are going to also act as hints for everybody who's guessing, okay? So whoever guesses the correct answer from what I've drawn, they will get a point, and so will I. Can you guess what clever animal I drew? Sumology is a lot like Scrabble, but with numbers and equations. Each player or team gets 8 tiles in their hand at a time. On your turn, you are going to add an equation to the game space, and depending on how many numbers you use, that's how you count up your points. So 3 plus 4 plus 7 would be 14 points. We would write this down, and then the game will end when nobody is able to make any more valid equations. Whoever has the most points at the end of the game wins. In Let's Drive, we are traveling the US. Each player gets a set of 3 destination cards, and there are also 3 destination cards on the game board. These ones are public cards that anybody can pick up. On your turn, you get to move up to 3 spaces. So let's pretend I'm this purple car here, and I'm going to drive to Cheyenne, right here, and I'd be able to pick up this card and set it into my pile. I would also then automatically get 1 point. From there, I then want to drive to Denver and take the airplane over to Anchorage, Alaska. Now, anytime you use the airport, your turn automatically ends at your destination there, whether you have 1 more turn left or not. Okay, so my turn is done because I ended at the airport, but that's okay because on my next turn, I'm going to drive over to Juneau here, and then back to Anchorage to fly to Seattle, okay? So at the end of any turns you have, Make sure you've collected all of the points you have, and then you're going to replenish all the destination cards that were either picked up off of the board or from your hand. So we'll pick one up. This one is for Lincoln, Nebraska, so we'll set that there. Now I'm going to replenish my hand, and there I drew an event card. And so if you draw an event card, that event has to be, you have to read it right away and take care of it, okay? And then we'll set it aside so it keeps it in play. Then I'll continue to draw cards so that my stack of 3 cards here is completely full. Now you also want to pay attention to other people's turns, because if somebody lands somewhere that I have the card for, like if he drives to St. Louis here, I could say, I could give him the card and ask him to send me a postcard. The postcard and the card, we would both then get 1 point. Okay? Keep track of your cards that are played, because if you get a set of 3 of one color, you also get a bonus card. And these bonus cards may either be worth a point or an extra special little tidbit, like being able to move an extra space on your turn or something, okay? The first player to get all 16 points wins the game. In Vinculum, we are having some fun fraction practice. Now, on your turn, you are going to flip over one of the tiles, and everybody at the same time is going to look and see if they can find something that it equals the same, okay? So if I flip over 1/4, everybody's going to look and see if they can find something else that's already in play that is the same. If somebody sees it, they slap it, okay? Whoever finds it first, we're gonna look at this to make sure they are the same. 1/4 is equal to 4/16. That person will then be able to keep it. Play will go on to the next person, and everybody's gonna you'll keep flipping over tiles, trying to find things that match, and claim those tiles before anybody else, okay? The game ends when all the tiles have been flipped over, and then whoever has the most tiles in their stack wins the game. Also on sale this month that I don't have are Global Ranking and Front Runner. Front Runner is a math game working on algebra and factors, and what's really great about this game is that you can actually have children of different math levels all playing it at the same time. Global Ranking is a game testing your knowledge about other countries in the world and how they kind of compare to one another. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Don't forget to follow me on Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram. Simply Fun with Steph.